chat box or click the wave icon on the bottom right hand of your screen to show that you can hear and see us all. Maybe let us know where you're calling in from today. We're super excited to bring you the second webinar in our Travel Nevada road trip series. And I'm sure many of you were part of Jennifer's first road trip webinar 2 weeks ago. It is Talk It Tuesdays, it is Travel Nevada, and in case I haven't met you before, I'm Corey Marshall, the account director for Travel Nevada in Australia and New Zealand. Looks like many of us can hear us and see us all right. It's great to have so many people with us from across Australia and New Zealand. All right, so let's get started. We know it continues to be a challenging time for our industry, but there is indeed now light at that end of that tunnel towards a return to international travel. For those in New South Wales, congratulations on Freedom Day last week. We were all super excited that you're blazing the trail to become reopened. And November 1st is right around the corner where you can start traveling internationally again. For those of the rest of us, we watch as there's intricacies of lockdowns, but we're super excited to be striving towards those exceptional vaccination targets. So hang in there, we're not far behind. With these plans in place, we're thrilled that Travel Nevada, Tracy and Jennifer, who you'll meet in just a moment, are here to bring their road trips to life. It's going to allow you guys, our key trade partners, to ensure you're well-versed on all the fantastic self-drive routes across the state. Today, they're going to take us on an in-depth understanding of the Free Range Art Highway. It might be my personal favorite, as well as the legendary ET Highway. Don't forget, just before Christmas, we'll wrap the series up with an online trivia event for everyone with great prizes. We sure hope you can join us for the whole series. If you have any questions as you go along, feel free to type them in the chat box, and we'll endeavor to answer them as we go or at the end of the webinar. Before we start today, however, and in typical Travel Nevada road trip webinar style, we do have a few questions for you. You need to answer these questions at the beginning of the webinar and then the questions at the end, and you'll be entered into the prize draw. So if you want to go ahead and answer these right on the screen. So question number 1 is, have you been to Las Vegas? Yes or no? Question number 2 is, have you driven any of these iconic Nevada road trips? And in this one, it's a multi-choice, so you can select all that apply that you've driven yourself. And then once you get through those, have you sold any of these iconic Nevada road trips to your clients? Question 3. And again, select all that apply. And then finally, question 4, are you planning on attending all 5 road trip webinars and final trivia event hosted by Travel Nevada? Yes or no? And once you've answered all of the questions, we will get things underway. We're just going to give it about 20 more seconds. All right, looks like we're getting there. Right on. Well, I have been super fortunate to travel on different road trips with my 2 co-hosts today. I am pleased to introduce Tracy and Jennifer, who are going to take it away from all the way from Carson City in Nevada. So guys, over to you.
Thanks, Corey. And if I remember correctly, 95 is your favorite because that was your first road trip you did in Nevada, right?
It was my first road trip.
Okay.
It was my initiation.
So, yeah, it was your initiation trip, right?
Many favorites now, but it's still definitely a highlight.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. So glad to be part of this webinar and to hear all the good news that are coming for travel to be back open. And we are here to get you excited about all the fun road trips you can experience throughout the state of Nevada, provide you information, and help with any questions you may have. So hopefully you'll learn new things with what Tracy and I are about to present to you. And if it's a refresher, even better, you know, you can never hear too many things about travel.
Yeah, and we're always happy to share information too. I'm Tracy Barntoss. For everyone on the call who I've not met, I'm happy to join as well. Sorry I missed the first webinar, but excited to hop onto this one and share more about all the wonderful things that you can find along these 2 road trips. So we'll take it from there.
I think we're going to inspire all of you, showing you a little glimpse of my favorite road trip today, the Free Range Art Highway.
Do you continue your promise of driving up new roads in search of adventure together?
I do.
I do.
By the state of Nevada and the power vested in me, you may now kiss your beautiful bride.
Have a happy honeymoon. Don't forget to love each other tender.
Have faith in love, for it is the fuel to finding new routes to each other's hearts.
So as we mentioned earlier, you know our names, Jennifer Diaz, market manager for Australia here, and Tracy, who is my partner in crime when it comes to all public relations. So for Nevada, I like to say we are in the center of the West Coast because we are right next to Oregon. We have Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and California all bordering us. So you could do a by neighbor itinerary that has one of our neighboring states as part of your trip, or personally, I think you should just explore all 10 road trips that Nevada has to offer because they're amazing. They each have their own story to tell. They provide intriguing towns, oddball attractions. All you need is a vehicle, a sense of adventure, and Nevada will provide the rest to you. So please, as you learn more about our road trips, like I said, reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions, provide you information, and get you more excited about traveling here to Nevada.
Yeah, so as you probably saw from the video, Nevada is a state that's full of contrasts. You can do all the amazing, exciting things that there are to be found in Las Vegas, you know, all the entertainment and restaurants and dining and everything that Las Vegas is. And you can also do the town of Reno, which is also full of exciting nightlife and activities. But then I think where the magic really lies is outside of those two towns and the true Nevada, what is out there beyond those two major cities, and really hitting the road and seeing what's out there. And excited to show you guys what is on some of those road trips. You know, we have 10 road trips at Travel Nevada. And I think one of the coolest things about it are you can really combine them into multiple things. You don't have to just do, you know, the Free Range Art Highway. You can do a little bits and pieces of everything to get, you know, the full picture of what Nevada has to offer.
And talking about oddball attractions, the Free Range Art Highway offers a lot of those, and which are the ones that we're going to cover during this presentation, and along with the AT Highway, which is the next one. That one is out of this world attractions.
Yeah, so the Free Range Art Highway got its name because a lot of Nevada is public land. So artists have come to our state and have discovered that they find a lot of beauty in the desert, and they are compelled to create art and create, you know, something beautiful out into the desert. So the Free Range Art Highway highlights some of those art pieces and those art installations that you can find along that road trip. So the road trip goes from Las Vegas up to Reno. That's about 7.5 hours. And there's a really there's a great midway point where you can stop and spend the night, so to kind of extend your trip. So we're going to kick it off in Las Vegas, and downtown Las Vegas, the Fremont Street. It's really undergone a huge revitalization over the past couple of years. COVID certainly didn't slow down Las Vegas. They were always creating and building and doing new things. And one of the new things in downtown Las Vegas is Circa Las Vegas. It's a new property, the first one from the ground up in downtown Las Vegas. It has a multi-level pool deck, the largest sports book in the world, and it also downtown has a lot of beautiful art. So Nevada's element is neon, and in downtown Vegas you'll find the Neon Museum, which is what this picture is that you see on the screen. They offer tours at night to show the beautiful vintage lights of Las Vegas and kind of show what it was back then. You can also walk along the Container Store, which is a lot of restaurants and stores that were made out of shipping containers. Again, lots of artists who have felt really inspired by Nevada have a lot of their studios in this area. So we wanted to lead it here in Las Vegas as you hit the road up 95 to the next stop, which I'll let Jennifer talk about.
So then once you've done all the Vegas related activities, which can be art, can be just entertainment, whatever, get on the road, and your first Highway 95, and your first stop would be Rhyolite, which is you will see this ghost-like little city out in the desert. It's not even just town, actually, out in the desert. And Burning Man is up here in Northern Nevada, but this kind of gives you this Burning Man feel of sculptures, life-size sculptures. Goldwell Open Air Museum. Right here, what you're seeing is the replica of the Last Supper in ghost-like version. And then I'll go to the next slide. This is perfect for your Instagram pictures, fun pictures to take when you're traveling with your friends. Those are Tracy's kids over here.
Yes, they are Nevada road trippers. We made them that way.
And then that's me and my friend sitting on this huge couch made of tile that has like a lion in the back. You can't see it. My friend's covering it, but it's out in the middle of the desert. You would not, unless you're paying attention to the road signs or you are, doing your research and looking at travelnevada.com, you're really not going to know it's there until because you're normally just driving down the highway, right? So definitely recommend to make this your first stop for fun pictures, a fun adventure out in the desert. And then after that, after you take your pictures, have some fun, then you can stop in from Rhyolite, go to Beatty. And Tracy, I know you like Beatty.
Yeah. So one of the things I forgot to mention that might come in handy for everybody on the webinar later is that Rhyolite is also one of Nevada's most photographed ghost towns. So Nevada has more ghost towns than actual incorporated towns, and Rhyolite has a lot of those still standing structures. That's a tongue twister. Still standing structures from back in the day. A lot of people came west to hopefully strike it rich in the gold mines, and then once those mines came up dry, they moved on, leaving those buildings. And Rhyolite is a really, really great example of some of those ghost towns. And it's right up the street from Goldwell Open Air Museum, which were the structures you saw before. So you could park your car and kind of explore the art, then walk up the road and see the ghost town. But about 10 minutes from there is the town of Beatty. Beatty is, if we're talking the traditional Wild West, that's Beatty. It's I feel like you could be driving and it's like the stereotypical tumbleweed could go across the road. It really has kind of that cowboy feel, that old West, and has really, really great food. There's the Happy Burro chili and beer, which is the picture there. This isn't a stage photo. This guy actually, this is what he wears on a daily basis. So really gives you a sense of the character and the personality that you'll find when you go to Beatty. It's also a great place to stop. It's a gateway into Death Valley National Park. It's about 20 minutes. A lot of Death Valley is in California, but we like to say the best part is in Nevada. So you can start your trip into Death Valley at Beatty, drive into Death Valley, do all the wonderful things that there are to do there, and then come out the other side on a whole nother road trip that we have to offer that kind of connects you back down to Las Vegas. So Beatty is a fun place, full of just good people, a great community, and really gives you that American West experience. So as we continue, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say for those that didn't join the webinar 2 weeks ago, that talked about the Death Valley Rally. Beatty is, you'll find lodging that is more options for you and at a more reasonable price than staying in Death Valley.
Yeah,
So
definitely a good point.
Good reason to go to Beatty if you're gonna go to the national park.
Get some chili and then head into the park.
Chili, yes. Get some chili, get a beer, and great way to end the day if you're planning to add Death Valley to your drive.
Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention, because this will come up later in the presentation also. There are resident burro or donkey, I don't know what you go by there, but that live in Beatty. So if you're into the wildlife, that's where you'll see some of Nevada's, favorite animals.
The burros are everywhere. They're so
cute.
They're like wild horses for us up here in the north, but down south. So from Beatty, if you're not going to go to the valley, you're going to continue at 95. Your next stop is going to be Goldfield, which is an hour away. And Goldfield is known for being the home of the International Car Forest, which is a junkyard of planted vehicles that are sculpture-sized canvases all over the painted all over them. Great, again, Instagram photos, pictures, unique pictures that you're trying to take for your social media or just to share with friends of your own. Check out put on Instagram International Car Forest, and you'll see amazing photos that people take up in this little area. But aside from going to the International Car Forest, you can also go to one of the saloons, have a beer with one of the, again, our local Nevadans that are always welcoming tourists. Nevada is just, we love tourists. We're always welcoming. Everyone's gonna be nice to you. So yeah, you can go have a beer at one of the saloons or take a tour in one of the haunted buildings. This is one of the pictures. Crazy, that's your picture.
Yeah, this is my crazy son in one of the planted vehicles in the International Car Forest. Lots of fun. Like, this really goes back to the idea of the Free Range Art Highway. This idea of you can find art in the middle of the desert, really unexpected, and you're just driving along and what's out? Let's go check it out. And so that's what this artist has done. And obviously you can tell kids love it, adults love it. I didn't share pictures of my entire family, but my son really enjoyed the International Car Forest. But as Jennifer mentioned, the Goldfield Hotel, Goldfield is also known for being a haunted area. So a lot of, like I mentioned with the ghost towns earlier, a lot of paranormal investigators find their way to Nevada to hopefully detect some sort of, life beyond the one we know. So Goldfield offers tours that you can go through, and it's kind of one of the most haunted areas. It's been on a couple of the US-based travel shows, Travel Channel, as being on like Paranormal Activity, and you can follow them along and see kind of what they've found. It's definitely worth a stop to check out and see if you find anything interesting, or the hair on your arm starts standing up a little bit maybe when you go in there.
I know the Goldfield Hotel at one point was offering tours. I believe they stopped because insurance liability, but people were paying almost like $500 a night to stay the night, and you're not like, there's no bed, nothing. You're just to hunt for ghosts. That's how, people love the paranormal stuff.
Paranormal tourism, that's a big thing. And if anyone on the call is interested in that, we have plenty we could share about, haunted Nevada.
And so to continue our paranormal activity, we recommend your midpoint to be Tonopah, which is your halfway point from Las Vegas up to Reno, and your day of fun taking pictures at the Tonopah Brewing Company. They have one-of-a-kind artisanal beers, smoke everything, good barbecue. You can choose to sleep it off at the Mizpah Hotel or the newly renovated Belvada Hotel, or you could go to the Clown Motel, again, only in Nevada. I love our Weird Nevada activities. You can sleep at the Clown Motel or choose not to sleep. And the motel itself is decorated with 2,050 clowns. So if you love clowns, that's a bucket list for you that you should be adding. And if not, then I'll recommend the newly renovated Vilvada Hotel. That one's probably much more nice. But it's also known for sky gazing night tours. So literally, Tonopah is known for having a very dark sky. The stars are amazing. It's literally the stars are always glowing. So I recommend a night walk of just looking up at the stars. I know the mining tour sometimes does night tours of the stars as well. And they have a park with telescopes, so you can go view the stars yourself. So again, fun, only Nevada activities that you could do.
Yeah, and on that note, Jennifer, I wanted to mention that, Nevada has some of the darkest skies in the lower 48. So beyond, like I said, Reno and Las Vegas, it's pretty remote out in Nevada. So you're able to see the galaxy with your just with your eyes. Yeah, so definitely something that we are going to be promoting a little bit more as more of our areas become international dark sky places. It's definitely something that is big in other parts of the state, which I don't want to give away for future webinars, but definitely something that we are leaning into as the state tourism agency to just talk about dark skies, because it's kind of an endangered resource. As more buildings go up around the country, it really does impact the sky. So legislation just passed in our Nevada legislature that protects the dark sky. So that's how much it means to us. And you'll be seeing more about that in future correspondence from us. But going from there, so after you leave Tonopah, and the Mizpah, I have to say too, has a fun haunted story as well. So there's a lot more we could go into there about the Mizpah and the lady in red and who haunts the floors. And so there's a lot of fun things that could be shared. But the town of Hawthorne is next up on our stop, and it is known as a very patriotic community. There's a ordnance museum where you can see a lot of memorabilia from, all different branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. There also is the big thing in the town of Hawthorne is Walker Lake. So Walker Lake is what you see here. There's an annual migration of bighorn sheep, which is the Nevada state animal. And there is, like I said, a migration yearly that you can, if you're driving through here, you'll very likely see a herd of bighorn sheep coming through. It's very peaceful, I think a lot of people think of Nevada and they think it's desert, but we actually do have a lot of water. And this is one example of the beautiful lakes that we have.
And talking about water, Hawthorne is from Hawthorne you could go to Fallon, about an hour and 15-minute drive, and then Fallon is the oasis of Nevada, known for agriculture and farm-to-table dining, but also they have the Oaks Park Art Center. It's a beautiful performing art center venue where they have exhibits from Native Nevada and regional artists here. So we definitely recommend, if you're into art, stop there in Fallon, have a great lunch from one of the Slanted Porch is my favorite one that restaurants I like to recommend, and then go walk around the Oaks Park Art Center in Fallon to check out some of our local artists and their featuring galleries.
Yeah, and Fallon is also home, going back to the Hawthorne and it being a very patriotic, military community. Fallon is also that. So Fallon is where the Top Gun school is, so the U.S. Navy, the Top Gun school. And a few years ago, right before the pandemic, they filmed some of the latest Top Gun movie out there. So it's yet to be released. I keep seeing them push the dates back on that, but hopefully that'll come out pretty soon, and you'll be able to see some of the beautiful Nevada landscape. But you'll find kind of that very proud military feeling in the town of Fallon as well. Oops, I skipped one. Sorry. Okay, and then your triple end in Reno. So from Fallon to Reno, it's about an hour. Reno has really worked to diversify its economy over the past handful of years. It used to be very, very reliant on casinos and resorts. And while there still are those, and they're amazing, they're world-class, they're fantastic, it's really reached out to more tech companies from Silicon Valley and have tempted them over to the state and to Reno. So it's really, as a result of that, it's a lot of boutique restaurants have been opening, coffee shops. It's very family friendly. Very family friendly in the downtown area. The Riverwalk district is beautiful. It goes right along the Truckee River. The Truckee River is where Lake Tahoe flows out into, so it's kind of beautiful. It goes right down to the middle of the town. Jennifer mentioned Burning Man earlier. So Burning Man is about a couple hours north of Reno, and if you aren't in town, it's every September. I believe it's coming back in 2022. But if you aren't in Nevada for the festival, you can visit Reno any time of year and find a lot of the Burning Man inspired art. There's been a lot of the art that's been out at the Burning Man Festival that's been deconstructed and then reconstructed back in Reno. And actually in a lot of places throughout Nevada, you can find a lot of that Burning Man art. It really does, elevate the experience a bit and gives you a little idea of what Burning Man might be if you can't attend in person. Reno is a great place. There's lots of hotels to choose from, lots of accommodations, restaurants, like I said, spas. It's a stone's throw away from Lake Tahoe. So it's really a great base camp for getting out and exploring northern Nevada.
I know my Aussies, they love Burning Man. I remember my last trip pre-COVID when I went to Australia. Coming back, I had almost half of the plane was coming back with me to Burning Man. Because
Nice.
I'm like, these faces look familiar. I kept going into the same layover as other.
I love that when you travel as one big happy family. I like that.
So you don't have to just come to Burning Man Festival. You should stay, come also and check the art out that gets placed when the festival is not happening throughout the city. Yeah,
and I was going to say too, I mentioned earlier that all of our road trips are connected to others. So from Reno, you can connect up to the Burner Byway, which is all about Burning Man. You can do the Lake Tahoe Loop, which takes you, of course, to Lake Tahoe and all the communities surrounding that area. You can go along, the loneliest road in America, which is Highway 50. There's a lot of different ways that you can modify the road trips based on your timeline and what you're interested in. So I think that's kind of the beauty in our road trip program.
Talking about that, so when you could stay the night in Tonopah, right? When we recommend to stay the night, you could take the re-rail, go from Tonopah and take the extraterrestrial highway. This is why we're kind of tying it here together. Or from Vegas, you can go up to the extraterrestrial highway, whichever one you prefer. It all depends on your timeline, right? But this is the area in Nevada that it's known for hosting Area 51. Which is where we're testing and training secret stuff that our Department of Defense is doing. I can't tell. I've taken the trip myself. I didn't see any aliens, but it was a fun trip.
I think that's half the fun, is you keeping your eyes on the road for what you might see, or maybe it can even. You think you might have seen something interesting, but you're not sure, but we're going to go with it. We did see it, just to have the story.
Yeah, exactly. But from Vegas, if you're going to start from Vegas, we recommend you go up to Parnaget National Wildlife. I think I said it right this time, Tracy. I hope I did. Parnaget.
Parnaget. You're right.
Parnaget. In the United States, there's 550 national refugee systems, and Nevada has one of them because we have a lot of water. We're not just desert. And so in September, if you're here in September, they have this refugee area. It has a really cool event, the Scorpion Hunt. It happens at night, and they held it every year in September. It's outdoors, so it hasn't been, COVID-wise, you don't have to worry about that. And the scorpions go on their nightly hunt prey, and someone from Wildlife Services will guide you along the way and teach you about the environment and the scorpions themselves, and along other wildlife that exists in this refugee. But that's one of the events that I find the most interesting, because I'm not into scorpions, but hey, it's pretty cool. You don't have a lot of events based on scorpions, right?
So true.
Or I definitely recommend that you go here just on a hike, get to see some of the wildlife or maybe extraterrestrial might appear on your trip, on your hunt. You never know.
Yeah, I think that is kind of one of the benefits of the road trip is, like I said, beyond the big city lights, the whole idea of Nevada as a state of contrast. Once you get out onto the road, there are so many places. There's not very many cars on the road, so there's lots of places you can pull over. Amazing hiking trails, lots of outdoor recreation, biking trails, hiking trails, ATV trails that you could just go and explore on your own. Like I said, Nevada's a lot of public land, so you can go out and do all the exploration that you want. One of the areas that you can stop just outside the town of Pico is the Mount Irish Wilderness area. It has a lot of beautiful landscape. Nevada has, of course, the desert, but then there's also the high desert. So we get snow, like we had snow today up here in northern Nevada. We get all ranges of the climate here, so you can really see a lot, and it really provides a contrast of the landscape. So you can get the dry desert, the Joshua trees, and then as you drive a little bit further, you might see snow-capped mountains, and that's something that you might see on this road trip, as well as otherworldly alien activity.
And all that hiking and exploring outside is going to make you work up an appetite. So an hour away from Pico is the little Alien Inn, where you can stay the night as well, and look out for an UFO if you choose. But I just recommend you go there and have a burger, an alien burger. It's an alien burger, so don't think of it as a normal burger. That's the only hint I'll give you. It's an alien burger. But get to know our locals that live there, live in that area, that have their own quirky stories to tell. They are true believers of the UFO and anything related. So if you're a believer, you're going to find your crowd. Yes, go ahead.
I think that's the best part about traveling, especially the extraterrestrial highway, is they're so open and willing to chat with you about the things that they've seen, out in the Nevada remoteness of Nevada. I think that's the best part, like just listening to their stories, grabbing a beer and just tell me about what you've seen, and they're all so friendly and open to sharing. And I really think that that really is really memorable and fun.
Yes, definitely. And again, unique swag. The shopping there is great for unique souvenirs that you're not going to find anywhere else.
So speaking of unique souvenirs, these are my kids in front of the Alien Research Center, which is about 32 minutes from where we previously were on our stop. So I think I now have UFO socks, a mug, a sticker, a pen, and a magnet from the Alien Research Center. It has everything you could possibly ever want or need or dream of regarding UFOs and aliens and, otherworldly life. And this is a place I was talking about earlier when I was saying just talking to the people and hearing their stories. This is a great place to do that. The gal who usually leads up the register is very open with her stories and likes to share. You can see there's an alien outside the Quasin Hut. This is what we call here. It's a great place to stop and look around. I think they even have like a mummified alien in a little display, which my son thought was the coolest thing ever. Definitely great photo ops at all along the E2 highway, but this one in particular because of the huge alien out front.
And then as you work your way, if you're going to work your way back to Vegas, I recommend you stop at the ET Fresh jerky. They have great jerky, beef jerky. Again, murals, art, talking about art, murals of alien art. I believe they have that mural that is behind Tracy right now. That's where it's located, at the ET Fresh jerky. So it's really fun to stop there. It's in Alamo. Alamo is also known for agriculture. So it's a very charming town full of, it's not Beatty-like. It doesn't have the Wild Wild West so much because there is a lot of more agriculture here, but it has a charming character. You're going to see a lot of the agriculture that gets done here in Nevada, in Alamo. And if you are interested in some springs, they have closed springs that you can go to within the area, and it's only at 30. By then, once you get to Alamo, you're only 37 minutes away from Las Vegas. So if you're wanting to get back into town to get to a dinner and a show, it's an easy trip, day trip that you could do. The ET Highway is an easy day trip that you can do outside of Las Vegas, or like I said, and circle back from Tonopah as well if you're not going to go all the way up to Reno.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also on the other end of this, where this picture is taken, is you might have seen, I don't know if anyone on the call might have seen the sign, the extraterrestrial highway sign. Our state tourism department has to keep making it higher because people keep stealing it. But so they've made it pretty high so that people can't take it down anymore and take it home. So there's a lot of photo ops with that sign in particular. It's the extraterrestrial highway sign. And then there are also along the 375, which is the ET highway, there is the black mailbox, which was where it is said that Area 51 people might have shared secret messages. You can stop at that black mailbox and kind of get a picture of that as well. So that's a little fun thing that a lot of people don't know, but is definitely, now you know, so you'll have to take the road trip and pose by the black mailbox. All right, I think we have a video, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Awesome, guys. Hey, I'm back. Thank you, Jennifer and Tracy, for taking us through that 2 road trips across the state. For our agents across Australia and New Zealand, they are obviously a wealth of knowledge that we fortunately have contact with, and you guys can have contact with. And we'll be following up tomorrow with an email, including many of the links we shared today in the chat box, but also a copy of today's recording that you can share out with your colleagues and your teams. And rewatch if you want any of those kind of secret tips that Jennifer and Tracy shared. Tomorrow's email will also include an announcement of our prize winners. Now, to be eligible to win one of those prizes, you do have to complete the following trivia questions that we're going to take you through now. So there's 3 questions on each of the road trips, and maybe I don't know, Jennifer or Tracy, you want to read out the first ones? We'll go through the 6 of them.
Sure, I'll go. Okay, the Free Range Art Highway just outside of Beatty. This is said to be Nevada's most photographed ghost town.
Cool. Yeah, you go, Jen.
Next. The Free Range Art Highway, how many clowns are said to occupy the lobby of the Clown Motel in Tonopah?
And then question number 3, and go ahead and answer these right on the screen and hit submit at the end once you're through them. But number 3 is Free Range Art Highway. The International Car Forest of the Last Church is located in Hawthorne, Reno, or Goldfield. And that is an awesome spot. Like, I know we all like our Instagram engagement, and that post of mine still has one of the highest engagement rates of all time. Great spot. Tracy.
All right, going on to the extraterrestrial highway. There are unconfirmed rumors that aliens enjoy this snack while visiting the ET highway: beef jerky, pineapple, or corn.
The extraterrestrial highway, what is the name of the secret section of Nevada where testing and training range that borders the ET highway?
And question number 6, the last one. Alien activity has been observed at this local UFO-themed gift shop: the Alien Research Center, the Alien Command Post, or the Alien Convenience Store. And hopefully Tracy and her kids haven't taken everything off the shelves.
It is very questionable. I have UFO stuff for days.
Awesome. Well, we're just going to give a couple more seconds. While we do, we had some great chat in the chat box as we went along. A comment was about someone who'd been and stayed at the Mizpah on one of our FAM trips, road trips previously, and that's really cool, Amy. And that brought up Sell Your Way to the USA. So Sell Your Way to the USA is an incentive for trade that we've run with American Airlines for a number of years. We actually just met with American last week, and yes, we will be bringing that back sometime in early 2022. So stay tuned for more information on that incentive, and possibly one of you could also win your way on one of those trips in 2022 with American and our clients. So pretty awesome stuff. In the meantime, tomorrow, join us. You can join us for our 3rd webinar in our road trip series on the 2nd of November, where Tracy and Jennifer are going to take us through Great Basin Highway and the loneliest road in America.
Oh,
that was my favorite one.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it today, but there's lots of iconic and unique Nevada attractions and sites along those 2 trips. So that's November 2nd. For Aussie and Kiwi agents, it's at the exact same time as today on Talk It Tuesday with Travel Nevada. And before we go today, we just want to definitely leave you with a bit of a feel of what ET Highway is all about and one final video. So thanks, Tracy and April. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
That's my message today. It's different is dope. It's not only okay to stand out, but it's awesome. We were not meant to all look the same. Thank goodness. Be the alien, like stand out and shout that from the rooftops. You know what I mean? It's a good thing.